बार बार जब पाया तेरा प्यार, उसी की याद सताती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है। जीवन हो गया तुझ बिन सुना, जीवन हो गया तुझ बिन सुना, गरीबों गरीबों का बना नमूना, बड़ा मजा था तेरा जीना, चाहे जहर भी बन जाए पीना, दलितों गरीबों का बोझ उठाया, पैदल चल के सबको जगाया, तेरा जीना रास में आया, तब दुश्मन ने हाथ मिलाया। हम गाते हैं, हम सोते हैं, बहुत ही ज्यादा हम रोते हैं, याद आती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है। मुरझा गई अब बाग की कलियां, सूनी हो गई गाँव की गलियां, मुरझा गई अब बाग की कलियां, सूनी हो गई गाँव की गलियां, दुनिया से नाता तोड़ गया तो आँखों में आंसू छोड़ गया, तूने अपना खून बहाया, तूने अपना खून बहाया, दलितों का मसीहा कहलाया, बंद हुई जब तेरी आंखें, बह नहीं पाया जिसकी बातें हम रोते हैं, हम रोते हैं, गम खाते हैं, चैन से हम ना सो पाते हैं, याद आती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है, याद आती है ये बीती याद आती है।
Darcy, do you think A.T.'s violent death could have been avoided?
Well, it is not a question of avoiding his death. A.T. stood for a cause. He had a passion for justice and human rights. He felt very deeply with the people who suffered oppression, injustice and violence. When you stand for a cause, the cross is part of that. Our mission today tells us that if we stand for justice, then we necessarily have to go through the path of the cross. Today, we are all asked to reflect on the implications of A.T.'s life for us. A.T. himself, 4 years ago, in an interview said,
"Aren't you afraid of a backlash?"
My answer was yes, it is a possibility. But when one works for the poor, these are things which one has to face up to. I think Jesus wouldn't have died on the cross if he had not taken an option for the poor. Otherwise he would have died of a heart attack or something. I think that is the model we follow, and there's no other option.
A.T Thomas is one among the 23,000 Jesuits all over the world. Among them, around 3,500 are in India. Hazaribagh is one of the 5 Jesuit provinces in Bihar. It is made up of the dioceses of Hazaribagh and Daltonganj. Today, the province of Hazaribagh has 153 Jesuits from Australia, New Zealand and various parts of India. They are engaged in many and diverse apostolates.
No, the reference line 5155 and 35. Is that?
290. Is that 290?
आप लोगों से एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं। समीर, आप क्यों यीशु समाजी बनना चाहते हैं?
मैं इसलिए यीशु समाजी बनना चाहता हूँ कि जब मैं फर्स्ट बार वोकेशन कैंप के लिए सीतागढ़ गया,
उसका देखभाल करने के लिए बहुत मुश्किल है। हम उसको कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं, हम जितना भी परिश्रम करते हैं।
Of cases. I have the cases of the Society of Jesus regarding land and other matters. Then on the diocese, I look into some of their problems. And then we have legal aid for the poor. Most of the cases are related to land.
नहीं, लेकिन सीतागढ़ वाले लोग को ज़्यादा प्राथमिकता दीजिएगा तब महंगा पड़ेगा।
നിൽക്കുന്നത് ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ അജൂബായിട്ട് അവർ സംസാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് 5-6 പേരൊക്കെ
झारखंड हमार राज्य के, झारखंड हमार राज्य के, सुंदर है संपन्या है बड़ी रे बढ़िया ये झारखंड, झारखंड हमार राज्य के, झारखंड हमार राज्य के। just trying to tell them what they are and what they can do.
Father A.T Thomas was very much part of this mission of the Hazaribagh Jesuits.
Mostly, and since my ordination in 81, I've been working in various capacities. Right after my ordination, I went and worked in a sort of parish, not an established parish, but some sort of a new place set up, in fact, where people were exceptionally backward. Actually, I didn't go to start this parish, but I went for pastoral experience. We could go out anywhere for 6 months. And I went and worked in this backward place near to the west of Hazaribagh. It is called Tandwa. And there I worked for 6 months, and then after that I told the people 6 months are over, I'm going back. And the people requested me and my superiors to stay on. At this request I stayed there and continued to work for another 4 years. And after that I was suddenly, at the request of the bishop, I was moved to a social center of the diocese and Catholic charities. I was looking after both, I was in charge of both for another 4.5 years. And then I was sent for tertianship for a year. And I finished my tertianship, and I opted to work with the Harijans. The Harijans are by far the last rung of the ladder of the social hierarchy. And it has been a very happy experience working with them, first in Tarwa and now in Babupada area, close to Hazaribagh district, out in the outskirts, in fact, very, very remote areas. And we are working even among the Harijans, among the least of them, called the Bhuiyas. This is what I was basically busy with. I am still carrying on with this activity among the Harijans now.
A.T, the man and the priest, many came to know and admire during the long period of his religious and priestly formation, and during his various ministries in the field, possessed several strongly marked characteristics.
I can remember the last experience, availability and hospitality. That is the most important. I had a lot of experience with him, but after coming back from Manila, that was the most important thing.
To me to Holy Cross, and I knew him since last 24 years. He was a man of courage, and he had always a heart for poor and underprivileged.
हमेशा उसका एक ही उद्देश्य लेकर के मुझे काफी प्रभाव कर रहा है कि हमेशा यही बोलते थे कि तुम चुप क्यों रहते हो, चुप मत रहो। और उसके साथ साथ किसी तरह के दुख तकलीफ में वो हमेशा सामने में आते थे, हमेशा साहस का बात करते थे, प्यार का बात करते थे। कभी कभी तो काफी गुस्सा हो जाते थे, लेकिन फिर
extraordinary person. He had extraordinary qualities, and remarkably warm, friendly, affectionate, but very demanding, and a very strong sense of right and wrong and justice.
In from 80s life, I learned a lot, especially working with the people.
यहाँ की गरीब जनता जो कि पुलिस और जंगल फॉरेस्ट वगैरह से पूरा दबाया जा रहा था, बहुत प्रकार के केस उसके गरीबों पर लादे जाते थे, तो फादर एटी को अच्छा नहीं लगा और ऐसे केस को उन्होंने बहुत
खोज कर निकाला और उसके विरोध में वो आगे बढ़े और उनकी सफलता उन्होंने दी।
He was an energetic person. He wouldn't sit around. It was his character to be always doing something. So, action-oriented person. And therefore, for that matter, he wouldn't consider who it is or for whom it is, but that was out of his consideration. He would do anything for anybody with the character that he had, always at the help of the other, especially whoever is in need.
Many times I have seen him coming with patients. Especially I remember an incident, he came the whole night, he sat with the patient.
I found him very encouraging, very cooperative, going out for Mass, especially on Sundays. I used to go out also. But in the beginning, whenever he was going, he had to change 3 vehicles. The local transport was jeepneys, which is like a trekker here in Bihar, very crowded. He used to change this one 3 times, and he was going to the slum areas where nobody will be happy to go, but he was going there.
Piety, I think piety is alive. When we are talking others, then we think piety is not alive, because every time piety is killed, that time I feel piety is killed. When I go to sleep bed, that time I think about piety. So my good friend, and I feel about him. He was a very good man. He was helping so much in villages for poor people and everybody, for everybody.
करना है, जैसे सबके सामने मतलब बराबर ही रहना है, हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सबके बराबर रहना है, नहीं कि हम सबके सामने जाएंगे गिरजा दिखाने के लिए अच्छा कपड़ा पहन लेंगे और दिखावट के लिए कि हम जा रहे हैं गिरजा के लिए, और गिरजा में जाने के बाद तो मतलब ध्यान तो कहाँ रहता है और शरीर बैठा रहता है वहीं पर, तो अगर करना है दिल से करना है प्रार्थना सब, यही फादर एटी का।
फादर एटी के साथ वो मेरा उनके साथ जो ताल्लुक रहा, रिश्ता रहा है ना, वो घर के फैमिली से कम नहीं रहा, और उन्होंने जो यहाँ के लिए, मांडेर के लिए या मांडेर के आसपास के लिए जो उन्होंने करके दिखलाया, वो अभी आपके मांडेर का मिशन अभी आपके याददाश्त के लिए काफ़ी ठोस सबूत है वो, और यहाँ के लोग उनसे काफ़ी बहुत अच्छी तरह से परिचित थे और उनसे काफ़ी संतुष्ट थे।
Everybody, he had a great talent for mechanical things. And then he started to mend this and that. And you have the other side of his character, the capacity always to be helpful.
I mean, he had been a great source of inspiration, plus he had been a great support.
For that man was very much interested, not only interested, absorbed in his work.
Going through a difficult period because of physical illness. Several months I had to be taking rest. So it was very lonely, and that was the time. There was only one person in the whole of society I felt was standing by me, giving time, giving encouragement, and understanding me deeply. That was A.T, and that is something that I am very grateful to him.
He was not only a priest, not only a Jesuit, but more than that, he was a totally human being. And he was, to me, he was very, very intellectual. And he tried his best to combine his intellectual with the grassroots level people. He never showed himself as a bossy. He never showed to the people that he was one who is very extraordinary, but he went down to the people. That I liked very much.
It is unconditional and uncompromising love for the poor and the oppressed reflects in the building up of Hazaribagh.
of a few houses belonging to the poorest among the Harijans, called the Punyas, and they were virtually living as slaves in a very powerful village dominated by the higher castes. And these poor people were working as in their fields for a bare minimum that could just keep them alive. So by constant interaction, they decided to come out. They decided to come out of this situation of slavery and settle themselves in a new place. And yesterday was the inauguration of that new place. It's called Azad Nagar, the place of freedom.
Father A.T was a truly committed person with a commitment directed fundamentally to the person and mission of Jesus Christ, and he possessed strong theological convictions.
The understanding in theology today, I think, would be much wider in the sense of conversion to the kingdom of God. I think all of us are called to that, to convert ourselves constantly to the kingdom that Jesus proclaimed by his words and by his actions, and minimize the inspiration I draw from Jesus of Nazareth, certainly by his life and as depicted in the Gospels, he often also. So our effort is to encourage discipleship.
And liberation theology attracted him very much. He studied liberation theology with keen interest. At that time, Pedro Arupe had influence on him, on the theologians like George Suarez, Amal Das, John Sobrano, and so on. They influenced him very much. And I can remember Jesus of the Gospels made tremendous impact on him, particularly Jesus' proclamation of the good news. And as a result, Jesus having been led to the cross, that touched him.
Yet his theological foundation and his insertion in the life of the people, especially the poor and the oppressed, made him aware of the violence happening in the society.
Harijans and other weaker sections, there's much killing, there's rape, there's all sorts of problems, and there's caste violence, and there is this violence inflicted on the majority who are silent. There's what you follow called the culture of silence, and that is very prevalent here. There's a vast majority of people who have no voice. They can't talk, they can't act, they can't stand for their rights. And especially in the state of Bihar, I think the worst violence is on the poor, who can't stand for their rights. You see, they are just gunned down, their houses are burnt down, their women are molested, they are demoralized in 101 ways, very subtle ways sometimes. So there is violence.
It is this awareness of the sinful situation and his commitment for a new society of peace and justice led A.T. to his final hour.
last 3 days we were together. In fact, we visited a number of villages. He came along with me. And we planned actually to go together to Sirka village. And we came up to Rajar hostel, you've been there. And on an emergency, I had to come off to Hazaribagh, and that's why he was alone in Sirka village. Otherwise, we would have been together. Well, that day evening, I got the message that he was captured by the Naxals. From that time onwards, 2 days, 3 days in fact, we were searching for him, thinking that he was still alive and we could get him back.
हम लोग उसी स्थान पर खड़े हैं जहां फादर एटी का प्राण त्यागा, उनको पीड़ा मिला और उनको मदर किया। आप उस दिन की कुछ यादें बताइए।
स्कूल में लगभग 11:40 पर सूचना पाया सुरेश राम से कि फादर A.T थॉमस सिरका बस्ती के ये सरकारी स्कूल में पकड़े गए हैं। देखा फादर को इस तरह से, इधर से मैं देखा तो देखा फादर A.T थॉमस थे और उनको बांधा गया था। वो जैकेट पहने थे खाकी रंग का और उनको बांधा गया था, उनको लेते जा रहे थे। कुछ लोग इधर थे और कुछ लोग इधर, उनको मैंने बीच में करके जैसा वो लोग ले जा रहे थे और उनके पीछे में कुछ लोग थे। तब हमसे बर्दाश्त नहीं हुआ, फिर हम निकल गए प्रांगण में, स्कूल प्रांगण में। तो वहाँ एक आदमी हमको देख लिए जो कमांडर टाइप के लग रहे थे। वो आए मेरे पास में और पूछने लगे कि ये यहाँ के मास्टर आप ही हैं? तो बोले कि जी हाँ मैं हूँ। तो बोलिए आप इसके संबंध में जो कुछ भी देख रहे हैं और सुन रहे हैं, इसके विषय में कुछ नहीं कहना है, नहीं तो फिर आपको भी जान से हम लोग मार डालेंगे। इस तरह से बोले। तो हम फिर अंदर चले गए और फादर A.T थॉमस को वो लोग जंगल के रास्ते तरफ से, डैम तरफ से वो लोग ले गए।
Virtually nothing more came to be known until his partly stripped, decapitated, cruelly ill-used body was found on 27th October 1997, Monday morning.
कलाकार का मतलब बहुत गहरा है, मगर सवेरा ऐसे लोगों की सेवा कर अवसर नहीं खुले हैं, उनके उस कार्य
Jesuits responded very well, but I think in a particular way the co-missionaries, because many had met A.T, many of the people who had come out, and he being such a, in a way, attractive personality, many remembered him with great affection.
His commitment. The province is gradually understanding the full implications and meaning of his death. And for me, it is a symbol of our option for the poor and our decrease of the congregation, and it is the confirmation of that decree that anyone who ventures out to such a work will have to face many type of challenges.
For me, it is a source of strength and inspiration to follow the radical demands of the gospel and my own personal Jesuit vocation. But well, if you really work for the poor and try to stand by the side of the poor to support them, you will be the target of the oppressors. That was my condition. So that meant not running away from the problem. That meant, well, get the support, be with the Lord, be with the people, but be convinced the cross is part of the resurrection.
Of course, our A.T Thomas' death has given us a very good inspiration, mainly focusing on justice, on working for the poor people. And I'm happy to say that this province has taken up that sort of work, and which is going ahead now with A.T.'s help and prayers from heaven will be really successful, I think, will be, as the signs are showing now.
So I can't forget A.T. as long as I'm alive.
Yes, A.T. is as a person who has traveled in this pilgrimage with us. Most of us is no more physically present, but I think he is very much part of us.
उनका जीवन अंत में भी एक हमने अर्थ देखा है। उन्होंने जैसे जैसे लोगों के लिए अपना जीवन दिया है, वैसे लोगों के लिए हम लोगों में एक समर्पण की भावना जगी है उनके जीवन से, जो उनका जीवन समर्पण से।
I remember him, and I believe that Father A.T is present even more among us by his work, by his sacrifice, his martyrdom. He has given a message to teeming millions all over the country, across the country, that a Jesuit has got a mission of faith and justice, and for that there can be no compromise.
Jos, all of us here, we are sitting in the very spot where our dear friend, companion, Jesuit, A.T was murdered. Now you are sent here to this particular contest of Karanpura among the Dalits. Could you please share with us your own mission? I'm going through various kinds of feelings here right now, because this particular spot where we are sitting, A.T's blood is everywhere here. Therefore, feelings and emotions and all I have right now. A.T was the one who really understood the mission which was entrusted to him. Therefore, he finished his run so fast.
It is like a relay race. A.T was a fast runner. While he was on the race, he kept the baton with him. The baton was his mission, and he passed on the baton to us. and we continue the same run, the same race.